African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 18th of April, 2025. From April 12th to 18th, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out 9 group strikes with high-precision weapons and attack unmanned aerial vehicles, which resulted in the destruction of enterprises of the military-industrial complex of Ukraine, the infrastructure of military airfields, warehouses of weapons, ammunition, missiles, attack unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned boats, training centers for drone operators, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries. This morning, a group strike was carried out with long-range precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles on key production sites for the production of unmanned aerial vehicles and infrastructure facilities of Ukrainian military airfields. The strike targets were achieved. All designated objects were hit. Units of the North Group of Forces continue to destroy formations of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kursk region. Airstrikes, unmanned aerial vehicles and artillery fire damaged the manpower and equipment of a tank, 4 mechanized, 3 airborne assault brigades, an assault regiment, a marine brigade and 5 territorial defense brigades. In the Belgorod and Kharkov directions, units of 5 mechanized, a motorized infantry, and airborne assault brigades, a coastal defense brigade, an assault regiment of the Ukrainian armed forces and 4 territorial defense brigades were damaged over the past week. In the area of responsibility of the North Group of Forces, the enemy has lost over 1,900 militants, 64 Ukrainian servicemen have surrendered. 6 tanks, 39 armored combat vehicles, 99 cars, 6 multiple launch rocket system launchers, including 2 U.S.-made MRs, 46 field artillery guns, 2 anti-aircraft missile systems, 8 electronic warfare stations, 10 ammunition depots have been destroyed. The units of the West Group of Forces have taken up more advantageous lines and positions. The manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized, a ranger, 2 assault, and an artillery brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, 3 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade have been defeated. The enemy lost over 1,730 servicemen, 2 tanks, 13 armored combat vehicles, including 3 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 45 vehicles, 30 field artillery pieces, including 7 NATO-made self-propelled artillery units and 155 mm howitzers, 12 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, and 21 ammunition depots were destroyed. The active actions of the units of the Southern Group of Forces liberated the settlements of Kalinovo and Valentinovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The following units were defeated: 7 mechanized, an airmobile, 3 assault, an artillery brigade, a regiment of unmanned aerial vehicles of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 3 territorial defense brigades, 3 National Guard brigades, and the Azov Special Forces Brigade. Over the week, the losses of the Ukrainian armed formations in this direction amounted to more than 2,170 militants, 2 tanks, 27 combat armored vehicles, including 4 M113 armored personnel carriers and a U.S.-made Stryker armored personnel carrier, 74 vehicles, 35 field artillery guns, including 4 155 mm caliber Western-made ones, 6 electronic warfare stations, 27 ammunition, fuel, and material depots were destroyed. As a result of decisive actions by units of the Center Group of Forces, the settlements of Elizavetovka and Preobrazhenka of the Donetsk People's Republic were liberated. The manpower and equipment of 6 mechanized, 2 assault, airborne, 3 ranger brigades, a brigade of unmanned systems, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a marine brigade and 4 National Guard brigades were damaged. The enemy's losses amounted to over 2,680 servicemen, 2 tanks, 20 combat armored vehicles, including 7 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 35 vehicles, 34 field artillery pieces, including 6 U.S.-made 155mm self-propelled artillery units Paladin, Caesar made in France, and Crab made in Poland, were destroyed. Units of the East Group of forces continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. They defeated the formations of 2 mechanized, Ranger, Airmobile, Airborne Assault, Mountain Assault Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Brigade, 3 Territorial Defense Brigades and a National Guard Brigade that the enemy lost more than 1,020 servicemen, a tank, 8 armored combat vehicles, 20 cars, 18 field artillery pieces, including 3 produced by NATO countries, as well as 4 electronic warfare stations. The units of the Dnieper Group of forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, Mountain Assault Brigades, 3 Coastal Defense Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and 3 Territorial Defense Brigades. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 540 servicemen, 4 combat armored vehicles, and 56 cars. A U.S.-made Mars multiple launch rocket system launcher, 12 field artillery guns, 9 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, and 16 ammunition depots were destroyed. Over the past week, air defense systems have shot down an F-16 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force, 45 JDAM-guided aerial bombs and 29 rockets of the U.S.-made Mars multiple launch rocket system, as well as 1,618 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 52,592 unmanned aerial vehicles, 603 anti-aircraft missile systems, 22,920 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,541 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 23,820 field artillery pieces and mortars, 34,317 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.